Welcome to Game Recognized Game. I'm Myles Turner with my coach, Brianna Stewart. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a different show, man. We got a special show. We're going to be answering some questions from you lovely fans. You guys submitted questions over the past couple weeks or whatnot. So please continue to rate, review, and send your questions to all our social channels. And you never know, man. You might pop up on a show just like this.
I know. I feel like I'm a little bit nervous. Let's see what they got. All right. The first question that I see is rank your top 3 craziest environments to play in.
Top 3 craziest environments. I got so Toronto. Playing at Toronto for us is, bro, it's like they're the only basketball team in Canada. So they show out pretty much every game. I play them in the playoffs. It's loud. So I'll definitely say Scotiabank Arena. It's a big one. I will probably say, I gotta say OKC. I mean, they're loud. They be on some bullshit because there's only like one hotel downtown, and they like always have these festivals and shit the night before or like the day of the game. So they blare music like right before the game, and that show's pissed me off last year. So I'll give them that. No nap time, bro. None. And they do it on purpose, but there's nothing you could do. So yeah, and then obviously their arena, it's like, you know, it's about as ruckus as it could be. And then I will probably say, yeah, I mean the Garden. When the Garden's popping, I guess there's 2 gardens, but Madison Square Garden, like when it's popping, like that's an amazing environment to play in. It's every Hooper's dream. So yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, my top 3 I think would be Barclays because I'm biased and I know it's loud in there. When we played France in the gold medal game in France in the last Olympics, that was nuts. And then number 3,
how's Phoenix?
Phoenix is good. Yeah, Phoenix is good. When D was playing and we were playing in the semifinals, I mean, I could say this one. When we were in the semifinal series, like in 2018, it was nuts in that arena. So I can say Phoenix for that point.
So this is one from a fan as well. Is this season championship or bust for the Liberty? Which I feel like I already know the answer to this, but please.
I mean, yeah. Like I feel like it's not like or bust. Well, it is, but it's just like we're just trying to win.
Yeah, it's expectation, you know, regardless.
Yeah. We know we have the talent, we have the people, like we can do it. We just need to all continue to build that chemistry, camaraderie.
All right, so I'll double up on that. So obviously had her on the show. I thought it was actually really cool that y'all held it down while I was away. But would Marta ever consider, you know, returning to play or getting to coaching? Because I mean, she obviously knows the game well and, you know, knows it from all angles. So how would you feel about that?
If someone wants to offer Marta a max contract, and they could talk to me. But no, I think that she, like, sometimes she misses it, but not that much. She does not want to come back to play. And if she was my teammate, she probably would like foul it out because anybody that hit me, she would definitely hit them.
I love that.
And coaching, no, I don't think so. She doesn't like, she's never like, oh, let's watch basketball.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you the next one.
Go for it.
How valuable is it to have a supportive partner when you're a pro athlete?
So I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years now, and I tell her all the time, like my career changed, you know, when she entered my life. You know, I absolutely, bro. Like it changed my mindset, it changed my mentality. I had the most success I've had in my career, you know, with her by my side. You know, the very first year, you know, she was with me. I averaged the most points I'd ever averaged in the league. The next year, I went to the conference finals. The year after that, I went to D finals. And like, you know, obviously I put in the work, but, you know, she helped build 90% of that game, which is upstairs, you know, my mental, you know, just kind of kept me sharp, you know, gave me motivation, you know, called me on my bullshit when I was bullshitting, you know, gave me an unbiased opinion. You know what I mean? She's someone that's not going to sugarcoat things. She's very blunt. She's gonna tell me exactly what's on her mind. And like in a life where you have a lot of people trying to gas you up and tell you that you're everything, it's very important to stay centered and have people to keep things real with you. And, you know, when I don't feel like hooping, when I don't feel like talking basketball, we literally just exist together, bro. And it's so hard in this world that we exist in just to have someone who's sees the world like you see it, or wants to make you a better person. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's everything. And then when she came into my life, there was no need for me. There was nothing to chase, but my dreams, and it was
Yeah.
easy. Yeah,
Hmm. We love that. I
yeah.
love that. During the off season, how do you deal with trade rumors?
Oh, dude. I'm so numb to it now. At the very beginning of my career, I was in a trade rumor every single off season, bro. And it started from like my third year on. And it was a running joke in the league. Like, like, is this the year that Miles Turner gets traded? Like, is it
Mhm.
finally gonna happen? And I had my bags packed twice. I thought at one point in my career I was getting traded to Boston for Gordon Hayward. And I thought I literally was ready to go. And then that fell to the last second. And then I also thought I was getting traded to the Lakers, for that was like a running thing for a while. So I'm so numb to it now. Like at this point, like, if it happens, it happens. And it's just part of the business. As a younger player, it's kind of tough, to take all that on. But it's all noise at the end of the day. And that noise pays a lot of people's bills. It's just something to talk about. And it's something just to keep going when the NBA offseason, starts to roll and the finals are over. So, I'm gonna be in a trade rumor, till even when I'm out the league. So it just kind of is what it is. I like this one right here. So, would you want the Liberty to play a few games each season in Madison Square Garden? Obviously Barclays is a great environment, but it's right across the way, and it's a very historical, site for hoops.
Um, I don't know. It's a little bit interesting because like the Liberty used to play at MSG, and then James Dolan didn't want the Liberty anymore. So
Mm,
the size bought it, and brought us with the Nets. Um, I don't know. I don't think there's like bad blood there, but maybe like a random game. Like especially now that we have the retro uniforms, it would be cool to like wear the retro uniform, have the court back in MSG. But it would need to be like a special game, not a all the time game. But we're New York's team, so we're
heard
anywhere
you.
in New York. Anybody who wants to cheer for us, they can come.
That's a great answer. I like that right there. Oh yeah, we had a podcast guest, Jordan Lucas, and I know he shared that celebration with you. When are you gonna finally do it? I know he taught it to you. Like, what's up,
Honestly, it's like so hard to think about doing celebrations when I'm like
dude?
focused in the game.
I agree, bro.
How am I supposed to think about a hair flip when I'm trying to get back on defense?
Dude, I 100% agree with you. For the longest time, my boys were asking for the long, like, when you hit a three, you need to do a celebration. I'm like, I'm not thinking about that shit. I'm running back. I'm fucking pointing. Like, it's just what it
Right. I'm
is,
trying to
bro.
find. I'm trying to like stop the ball and like build a wall. No, I'm working on it. Okay, I'm just working on it. How important are PD player development coaches to a team? It says it feels like some organizations do a better job developing rookies than others. And what separates the teams that consistently turn young players into legit contributors?
Man, I've had a number of player development coaches over the years. There's a couple factors. One, I think it helps when the player development coach has played the game at this level,
Yeah.
obviously, or not at least not this level. A high level. Whether it's overseas or high level G League player, whatever it may be. I think it helps when that person knows exactly what's going through your head. Um, I'm not shitting on the ones that, study the game or the ones that know the game super well, but there's just such a difference between teaching and execution.
Yeah.
I think the levels of mastery comes with being able to not only teach the game, but like make somebody understand. I feel like
Yeah.
there's
And
just
like
a
feel
huge
it, right?
difference. Absolutely. So yeah, some organizations are better than others. I think that there are a few standout, organizations in the NBA. Like, I'm not going to call them out by name because I don't want no smoke, but you can always kind of tell, very disciplined. Like when you're doing pregame, like go for your pregame shooting and whatnot,
Yeah.
some organization will have the young guys out there, like literally playing 3-on-3
Yeah.
or literally going through drills that you go through in practice. So like going hard and like teaching them like the environment of the league. I think that it's one thing to put a player through a workout. It's another thing to make a player understand where they're at. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Teaching that hunger and guys that are coming in on off days or coming in before shoot around. I think the best player development coaches are the ones that help the kids get structure. as opposed to just checking a box of, hey guys, you worked out today. You know what I mean? Guys that are super passionate about what they do as opposed to just collecting a check, or trying to build their resume. You can always tell, bro. There's always a difference. And, I have a lot of respect for those player development coaches that are grinding, but there are some coaches that are just doing it just so they can get to their next job. You know what I mean? Which I would never knock. I'm not going to knock that hustle. But there are some coaches who really, really care and pride themselves on developing and harboring that young talent.
Yeah, definitely agree. And like you can tell when that trust is being built, and then you can like as a player, you're more receptive to when your PD coach is saying something to you when it's like, you know, you've built the relationship and it's not coming in from day one like do this, do this, do this, do this, you suck at this. Like that's
Yeah.
not gonna go good.
For what? Exactly. For what? All right. We got the last one here. Let's see here. Who is or what makes the best workout partner?
What makes the best workout partner? Um, well, if they're the DJ, the music that they decide to
Okay.
play. I think Marta's like my best workout partner. Because sometimes she doesn't want to work out with me, but like like I feel like as athletes, we're always used to like working out by ourselves. Especially when you're like putting yourself through an off season grind, and you just need like a little bit of extra support.
Absolutely.
She takes one for the team and does it with me.
That's very real, man. And I think it's, to your point, I think it's hard to work out by yourself because even if like you have a partner there, we're so competitive that like naturally it just like turns on, right?
Hmm.
It's one thing to kind of like push yourself. It's another thing to have someone else who can literally just be minding their own business, but you're almost like using them to push you even further,
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think that's very real.
All right, time for a quick break. Next up, we get into a few questions that you guys submitted for Myles about Lego. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles wherever you get your podcasts. We're back with round 2 of answering some fan questions. Myles, you have gotten a lot of questions about Lego, and I'm just going to start it off. Basically, I'm going to be the one asking you a lot of these questions right now. First up, what Lego are you building this offseason?
What am I not building? Well, it's tough, man, because obviously I'm gonna be leaving, for a month, and I'm one of those guys. It's very hard for me to travel, with Lego itself, because I mean, everybody who knows out there, they break so easily. So,
Right.
I've been all over the place, man. I've been putting together some of the Pokemon sets that came out. I'm not even a Pokemon guy. I just think they look dope. So I've been putting together some of those sets. Put together the orange cat. I got a puppy to put together. That's next. Been doing some of the botanicals. Um, what's crazy? Like, I feel fake for this. I've never even seen Lord of the Rings. But I put together like the really big like eye tower. Put that together. I'm probably gonna do. There's like some like 10,000 piece set that came out that I'm gonna do there as well.
Are you doing anything Mandalorian related?
I was actually just about to say that. It's funny you said that. Yeah, he has one of his starfighters that came out. So I have what's called the Razor Crest. The ones that don't know, the Razor Crest is like it's his main ship. It's huge, probably like 4,000 or 5,000 pieces. So I'm putting that together next. And then yeah, man, that's really it. I'm trying to think of like running off the list. One thing that's been cool for me is that I got a chance to go actually speak at Lego's conference of Lego Conference of America in Rhode Island a couple weeks ago, and that was dope. I just was basically there with all their sales representatives from North America. It was Mexico, like the people there from Mexico, Canada, like some South American, like from Brazil. Like it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Next question. How do you keep your cats away from your builds?
So Casper, like I mean, the easiest thing for me to do is just to close the door. But every now and then he'll sneak in here, and he does like to jump up into the shelves behind me. And he's done a pretty good job. What I will say is kind of funny. Do you see these cats right there? They actually scare the shit out of him. So like,
Okay.
if I line him up, he like won't go fuck with him. He'll like literally kind of like stare. His eyes will kind of get big, like his
Yeah.
ears start
He's
going
like,
back.
who is this?
Exactly. It's hilarious. But like he's actually like scared of those things. So they kind of help, I guess, a little bit too.
Okay, the next question I'm a little unsure about, but good or bad call to sell plasma to put towards a Republic Cruiser Lego set?
Well, for starters, that is an expensive set. That would require a lot of plasma or blood. And I'm a guess it's going to probably require a lot more than what the average human probably holds. So I don't think so. I don't think that's a good call, Bubs. I don't know who sent in this question, but I think there are better ways to go about this. Like maybe start, picking up some cans or some shit like that and recycling. I don't know
Mhm,
if you need to sell your own
mhm.
blood.
Yeah, definitely keep your plasma.
I got one for you. So, what's more important at the highest level, offensive skill or defensive intensity?
I don't they're both very important.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say defensive intensity, I would say, like, defensive IQ.
Okay, I like
Like,
that.
you know what I mean? I feel like everyone should bring defensive intensity, but, like, to understand why you're doing it and why you're, like, going to help side or weak side or, like, going for a steal is pretty important, but I don't know, I think offensive skill, not everybody has it.
No, and it'll keep you in the league longer too, in my opinion. Offensive skill, so I like that.
I listen to Meek before games. What's your pregame music routine?
I'm all over the place, man. Um, I don't really listen to hip hop. I'm a kind of like, I mean, hip hop's my favorite genre, obviously, but before games, I'm different. I love metal. So I really started getting into Metallica, like before games and whatnot. That's got me right. Megadeth's another one that's got me right as well. Linkin Park, they're not metal, but they got some rage and shit in there too. Um, Let me think. Yeah, just something of like that genre. Like I like something to get my blood going a little bit. It's just,
Okay.
not a lot of words, not a lot of like I'm not like that like screamo. Like yeah, it's like heavy metal. I can't do that. But like more like the classic metal or whatnot. Like I can rock with that type of stuff. It gets me going pretty good.
Okay. Alright, cool. Do you have any other game day rituals or superstitions?
I eat the same meal every game day. I'm really basic. It's just
What is it?
just
Yeah.
literally as basic as it gets: chicken, rice, and broccoli. I'll eat that like 4 hours before a game, and I don't eat. I don't. I like to play on an empty stomach. I'm like weird like that. I just don't
Me
ever really do it,
too.
dude. It makes sense. You just feel heavy, like you eat right for the game, or
Yeah, I
I
know.
hate that feeling.
Some of my teammates eat, like, right before, and I'm like, "I cannot do
Mm-mm.
this. I
No,
cannot."
not at all. What about you? You got any like rituals?
I just do my routine, It's not
Fair.
superstitious or anything like that, but, like, my
Yeah.
routine is pretty set in stone as far as, like, timing and what I'm doing and when I'm on the court and all that.
Same. I feel on that. Someone says, "Do you have a favorite career moment, like on the court?"
I mean, it's easy to say, like, winning in New York.
Yeah,
The first ever championship in franchise history, like, yeah, that's a best career moment.
of course.
You?
Well, I guess advancing to the finals. We got to do it
Mhm.
on our home floor. I didn't get a chance to win, obviously, but it's like that for me personally. I just never thought it was possible. I didn't win a high school championship. I only played a year in college, and I got out in the first round. And before that, in my other 10 years prior, I had only been in the first round. So to go from zero championship experience to like actually getting to the big game, like it
Yeah.
was such a revelation just for me personally, and something that was so validating, that oh shit, like you can do this, you know what I mean? So although I didn't like finish the job, like I would say just getting there and like being one of a very few select players I ever have played in the finals, like that was big for me. And just being able to
Yeah.
do it like um, beating New York was huge because my dad, he's a Knicks fan his entire life. So he had a lot of his friends there, a lot of his friends like talking shit. So it was great to do that and kind of win it for him too. So it was badass.
Yeah, now you just gotta get back and
Finish
finish
the
the
job.
job.
Yeah.
It's our last question.
All right.
What's your relationship like with your parents, and how often do you see or talk to them?
Like yourself, I'm blessed to come from a two-parent household.
Mhm.
My parents they're my everything, man. They have supported me through and through no matter what decisions I've made in life. And they have helped me immensely. They've exemplified what it means like to be parents and to get me this level. Like they're the ones that my mom emptied her retirement fund to fund like my AAU. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like she didn't even know I was gonna go to the NBA, but she put all her eggs in one basket towards my dreams. My dad worked the night shift, so I barely saw him during the day. But if I had a game, he would sneak out of work, get someone to cover his shift, and watch. He's never not showed up to a high school game of mine. My dad drove hours during the. We couldn't afford the plane ticket, so we drove from Texas to Florida, Texas to Vegas, Texas to Virginia, Texas to Minnesota. Like we drove everywhere and he was the one who was taking the brunt of that. They sacrificed everything for me just to even have an opportunity when I didn't even want to play basketball, but they put it, they're the ones that, really fed the dream, man. They've been there every single step of the way. My highest moments, my lowest moments, they've always been there. And it's a blessing to be able to just give them back even a fraction of what they are to provide me. You know what I mean? Monetarily, there's only so much you can repay your parents, but just the love and the time, the attention that they showered you, with, it's been an amazing feat. So my parents, they're damn near at every single game. They sit courtside, they watch me play, and I have an amazing relationship with my parents. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, same. I think that just thinking about the way you were answering, like my parents had also made like huge sacrifices for me to be able to play basketball and travel all over the place, and waking up early in the morning to get in the car to go to the AAU practice and go down to the YMCA, like things like that. So um, definitely have a great relationship with my parents, and I think that now it's just a little bit different because they're supporting me from afar. My mom is in Seattle, my dad is in Syracuse, so he can come to games more often. But we're definitely like talking, texting, and now that they're like grandparents, they want to
Mm,
come more to like they want to watch me and support me, but also they want to like be with the kids.
of course, man. I feel like that's definitely part of the dream as well. They've raised you, but to kind of see, I don't know, like you doing everything that they instilled in you, with your own children. Like that's pretty dope, man. That's hard.
Mhm. Yeah. So shout out to our parents.
Yeah, man, for
It's
real.
like a perfect ending for this one today.
It's a fact. I know my mom listens to every single one of these. So love you, mom. Hope you're having an amazing week. All right, y'all. So that's it for today's show. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game. Keep sending us your questions. See you next time.